Hello, amazing parents. Good day. Welcome again to the Counselor's Corner with Benro. Here we explore everything that has to do with our children and teenagers, especially how we can raise emotionally healthy and resilient ones. Okay, so today's topic is a very big one, right? Yes. And we're going to be looking at when your teens won't talk to you. When your teens won't talk to you. Okay, so have you ever asked your teenager, how was your day? And you only got one word answer. Be fine. And of course, this session is for you. If you feel like your teen, or of course your children, have built an emotional wall around you, don't worry, we're going to learn how to gently tear down these walls, right? And then of course, rebuild connection. And that's why we started with the topic we did the last time, love languages. Okay, so if you missed the live session, please, you want to catch the replay of understanding your child's love language and the implication. That way you'll be able to fully enjoy today's topic. Okay, so why won't your things talk to you? Why? Or when your things won't talk to you, what would you do? Again, before we get into this topic, let's play our emotions game. This segment truly is to just help us build emotionally resilient and emotionally intelligent teenagers, and even you as a parent. Okay, it will help you because our children have different emotions just like you do, right? And then they display it. At times they do not even know how to express these emotions. Okay, and so if we can understand their emotions, then of course it will help us build empathy. And now for this game, emotions game today, I will call it an emotion, right? And I want you to picture a recent interaction when your teenager might have felt this way. Think about what triggered the emotions, how your teenager acted, and how you as a parent reacted. Of course, if you're a teacher, this would also be helpful to you, so that you understand what your children, your students are doing. Okay, so the first emotion I'll be calling today is frustration. So let's say maybe your teenager failed a test or didn't really perform well in an exam, okay, and then they slammed the door. How did you react? Did you try to fix it just at that point, or you gave them space? So the first emotion we're looking at is frustration. So as you're listening to this, just think about it. In the last 1 week, in the last 2 weeks, last 1 month, as your teenager displayed the emotion of frustration, and how did you, as a parent, as a teacher, how did you react? The second emotion we'll talk about tonight is loneliness. Lonely. Now, so have you bumped into your teenager of recent scrolling through social media, and then all of a sudden they started looking sad? Maybe they felt excluded by their friends. You know how they snap pictures and they put online. So did you check in on your teenager, or you just assumed that they needed this screen time and then you just felt they want to do it themselves? So how did you react to your teenager when they felt lonely in recent time? Hello Isaac, good to see you. Okay, the final emotion tonight, please, as you catch replay. As you get to this point, I want us to write down our answers, maybe on our books. Okay, so you want to get a journal for this emotion section. Sincerely, it will help us. Okay, so the last one is misunderstood. It's an emotion. So for instance, in the last 1 week or 2 weeks, was there a time where your teenager tried to explain something to you and you jumped into conclusion? Or you just jumped in to start advising them? Did they shut down after that? What did you do? Now, don't forget that teens would not always have to the right words. They will not always have the right words to express their emotions. So at times, their silence speaks louder than words. Okay? So the more we understand their emotional word, the better we can respond with compassion. And that's what we'll be doing in one segment of the Counselor's Corner. So over time, we would have been able to go through so many emotions. Hey, so we have looked at frustration, we've looked at loneliness, and then of course, misunderstood. So which one has your teenager acted out in the last 1 to 3 weeks? And how did you, as a parent or a teacher or a guardian, how did you react to such emotions? Right. Now, when your teenagers do not talk to you, when your teen do not talk to you, don't see it as rejection, dear parents. It could just be a defense mechanism for them, you know. They might just be that, let me protect myself from perceived emotional harm, and then they just go silent. Okay, so something that for us to reflect on tonight would be that, how do you, as a parent, in all of your reactions in the last 1, 2, 3 weeks, how do you think your response impacted their willingness to talk to you? How do you think that your actions, how you responded to your teenagers because of their emotions they displayed, how do you think this has impacted their willingness to talk to you? It's something that you want to ponder upon. So, why do teens stop talking? Now, don't forget that the teenagehood, right? Looking at 13 to 19, if you say adolescent, then of course you're looking at 10 to 19. So, culture would say 10 to 25, right? Now, don't forget that it's a time of self-discovery, that period. But it's not as though they really want to pull away, but they just crave their independence. Of course, they crave their privacy. A teenager is trying to understand his inner voice. Is trying to know who he or she truly is. You know, at the time, they'll behave and they'll be like, you're still behaving like a child. And other times, they behave and you feel that, this is an adult talking. Right? So, in their head, am I a child or am I an adult? Now, in also the teenage age, right? You see that they crave independence. Okay, they want to actually feel like a big boy. And mommy, don't worry, I can do some things myself. Right? They also want to try out and develop, of course, their decision-making skills. So at times, it's not as if they do not want to talk to you, dear parents, but hey, they're just trying out how far they have gone. So it's a period of autonomy, independence, true self-identity, and of course so many other things. I think another time we are going to really dive into the teenage brain and how it works. Okay, yes. So for now, let's just stop there. So just know that it's a normal developmental milestone that they have to go through. Okay, that being said, let's give a story. Now imagine a mother and a child. Okay, so since I'm Nigeria, let's give the mother Ada and then the child David. So imagine that David, the son, has been quiet for so many weeks, and then anytime she asks, maybe that's mommy Ada now. So anytime she asks David what's wrong, David's always saying nothing. nothing, and then it just walks away. How would you feel as a parent? That's, for instance, you know that this is your child, your teenager is withdrawn, he or she is not talking like before. How would you feel? Do you get frustrated? Again, that's an emotion. Or do you just think, he's just rude, she's just rude? Again, there could be so many reasons why that child is shutting down. If you build connection with your children early enough, trust me, one, you understand who they are. You know why they are happy, why they likely will be sad. You understand their love language. You know how to speak it to them. And of course, once your child goes off, you get to understand them. Now, David might have been battling with bullying in school. Yes, it might just be that he has so many things that are stressing him off. It could be his friends. Maybe one girl that he likes, his crush. He's just not even sending him, right? So there are so many reasons why teenagers just want to be on their own and just even feel ashamed to talk about it. Imagine coming to tell you that, mommy, the reason why I'm not happy today is one girl in my class or one boy in my class is not sending me. So there's so many things going on in their hearts. Okay, so don't feel sad, dear parents, when your teenagers are not talking to you. But very importantly, why do teenagers shut down? Why? Hey, hello everybody, thank you all for joining. I can't really see you, but I know we are all here, so thank you very much for joining. Okay, so if you can see me, just say hi so I can read your comments, right? Thank you. So why do teenagers shut down? So their parents, this is very key for us. Number one reason why your teenager or a teenager will shut down is fear of judgment. So if you can hear me, I need you to write fear of judgment. Now, if for every time your teenager comes to you, your daughter comes to you, your son comes to you, mommy, let's have a conversation, or they're trying to tell you something that's happened in school, or telling you about things that have happened with their friends, or even with their subject, and the next thing, you have turned it into a lecture. Trust me, that thing might decide that it's safer to keep quiet than to talk. So imagine a teenager, your child is coming to you to say, mom, this is what happened in school. It could be maybe I went into a fight, I had a heated argument with my classmates, and they have not even finished talking. Mommy has turned it to preaching. That's not a sermon. So you will sit down and you will judge that child. What have you done? What have you done? You're telling the child that, hey, whatever you have to say, I don't want to hear it. You did wrong, and then you start judging. So that child, that teenager would just shut. Like, hey, just like this. To make what matter worse, in the evening, during evening devotion, you now use that topic to preach. The next morning, you use it to preach. In short, you tell that does something wrong, and you're saying, and that's why this thing happened to you yesterday. That's why this thing happened to you last week. You're judging them. So if they know that my mommy will turn every conversation I have into a lecture, she will judge me. And some of us will not even give our children the outer of doubt. You won't even hear what they are saying, and then you already conclude they are wrong. You already conclude that they are the one that started the trouble. Again, how will that teenager come to you to explain what is happening to him or her? Don't forget that we are discussing why teens might shut down. So, fear of judgment. The second will be feeling unheard. Every one of us, even you as a parent, right, teacher, adult, we all want to feel loved and feel heard. So my question to you is, your teenager, is he or she feeling heard? So if they try to open up a conversation with you, do you dismiss them? Do you use statements like, it's not that serious, or you're just overreacting? Now, if a teenager, your child knows that every time I come to mommy, you're already saying, or come to daddy, you're always saying, it's not that serious. No, it's not that serious. You over exaggerate. you're overreacting self. Don't forget that every emotion is valid. Every emotion. So whatever that child is going through, validate it. So it's okay to say, sorry, this must have been hurtful. Oh, you must have felt betrayed. Oh, this must have, but instead you're saying, it's not that serious. A child is going through pain. Do you know what is serious for him or her? That's children are different. Situation A can happen to this. Situation can happen, the same story, the same event can happen to two children. But the way they will react will be different. A child, let's say two children, two teenagers would fall down. One will fall down and start crying. The other one will fall down and will stand up. The same incident, but different reaction. So who are you to not tell them that it's not that serious? A child or a teenager is bleeding that he has been hurt. And all you have to say is, it's not that serious, or you're overreacting, and you want that teenager to come back to you again. Oh no, dear parents, we can do better. Okay, don't forget I said every emotion is valid. Just validate it. You don't need to understand them or to be in that shoe that they are presently, but hey, just show concern. Let them feel heard. So if your teenager feels he or she is not heard, what they have to say does not matter, and of course they will shut down, right? And then another reason why teenagers would shut down is when they are stressed, when they are feeling anxious, or when there is emotional overload for them. So they have so many things to juggle in school, with their friends, and all of that. And because they don't really understand how to put these things together, they don't even understand, they can't even tell you the emotions they are feeling. They might just isolate themselves and then think that they need time to process it out, right? But again, don't forget that this is the time they need you more. So even if they are feeling independent, I'm a big boy, I'm a big girl, mommy, I can take care of myself. But trust me, this is the time they need us to help them navigate on their emotions and of course the life they live. Oh, thank you, Counselor Esther, for joining. I see you. Okay, so if you want breakthrough with your teenager, and of course, you want to one, understand them, understand these emotions that we have discussed, and then of course give them that validation. Pay attention to patterns, very important. As a parent, you want to pay attention to your teenager. So if, for instance, every time your child comes back from school, they are usually quiet. Again, you will understand and you will notice these shifts if you have a good connection with them. So if, for instance, every evening or before now, when they come back from school, they're very joyful, they are playful, they want to go to school the next day, you see them with their assignment and all that, and all of a sudden that child, it's not becoming quiet after school. Or you see that child always being moody after a particular place they go to, and of course you want to study it. Observation is very key in parenting, right? So aside them having that fear of judgment, we've talked about it, feeling unheard, going through so much stress and anxiety and emotional overload, then at times you as a parent, you would have to understand their pattern, and the only way you can understand their pattern is to study them. So pay attention to that teenager, pay attention to your teenager, right? That way you know what is beneath the surface. Okay, so how do we now rebuild connection? So if you think that your teenager has not been talking to you, has not been opening up to you as they should, now again you want to check yourself. These 4 things I've mentioned, how well have you failed, right? And then after, let's look at it. How do we now rebuild connection with your teenager? Don't forget I said if you think your teenager has built an emotional wall, we can gradually break it down, right? Now, first of all, of course, you want to understand your child's personality. The teenager you're raising, who is she? Who is he? Why do they act the way you do? Now, once you understand their personality, then of course it will help you. Another way to rebuild, don't forget we're talking about why your teenagers will not talk to you, is to look at their love language. So how can I speak love to this teenager, right? We looked at words of affirmation, we looked at quality time last week, we looked at physical touch, act of service, right? You want to catch the replay. So you want to understand their love language. Now don't forget that it is not how you want to be loved that you display love. You want to ask that teenager how they want you to love them. Now I talked about observation, I talked about you asking questions, and I talked about assessment. So if you want to know the love language for your teenager, you can reach out for assessments. We have assessments, right, to help you figure that out. Now, knowing their love language and then knowing their personality will help you rebuild connection. Now, after that, what next do you need to do? Number 3 would be that you create a safe space. Be a safe haven. Make your home a safe haven. You know how your child, your teenager is outside, and something has happened, could be good and bad, and then the first person they want to share that news with is the mom or with the dad. And the only way that can happen is if we create a safe space for them. So their parents, are you a safe space for your teenager? Is your home a safe space for them? Right? Now, when the teenagers know that they can come to you without any fear of judgment or of ridicule or of preaching, of not feeling unheard, and of course, you have a safe space. Now, you want to show small, consistent gestures of love. You want to pat them in the back. Thank you for sharing with mommy. Daddy is happy that you're here. How was good today? So you want to create a safe space. Now, if your child is in trouble at 12 a.m. in the night, midnight, 1 a.m. Of course, we have teenagers in the university. I have teenagers 16, 17 in the university already. And they are in trouble. No matter the trouble, will you be the first point of call? I'll share a story. A woman told me one time back, she had told the son that no matter what is happening to you, no matter the situation you are in, mommy will always understand. If you are in trouble and you need help, please call me. I know that over time, that mom would have displayed that hey, your mommy is reliable, your mommy is trustworthy. And that's why this particular day, this boy, of course, was already in university, but he went out to a party. Now he did not inform the mom he was going to a party. And you know how you're supposed to leave the party 8 or 9, but he didn't leave. Of course, one thing led to another. But at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, this is true life story, the boy started noticing some things in the party. You know how you just know that something will soon go wrong? Maybe there was drugs, something. Anyhow, the boy just said, I have messed up. But if I stay here, if I continue to stay in this party, something wrong would happen to me. Maybe he would have been forced to take drugs or start smoking. And he looked at the time. It was past 12 in the night. Guess what? The guy was just like, I've already entered, but it will be worse. And he picked up his phone and called his mom. Hello, mommy. Long story, but I'm in a party, but I'm sensing that something wrong is about to happen. I'm not comfortable here, but it's already night. I can't leave here. So the mother just told him, please calm down. You will be fine. Be ready. I'll be with you in a jiffy. Of course, the school wasn't far from the house. That's too far, right? And the mom woke the father, and that's how they went to the school. Trust me, it was not a time to preach. He just got there. Of course, they went home. After some days, it was the boy that told him, mommy, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to be there, and I explained everything. But if that mom was the type who had always been judging the son, If she's the type that always made him feel unheard or always says you are exaggerating, of course he wouldn't have called. That decision that day spared his life, right? And so, are you a safe haven for your children? Are you a safe haven? Now, because once they know that they are safe with you, trust me, over time, you will slowly open the door to communication. So, create a safe space for your teenager. Create a safe space for your children. Number 4 would be use gentle invitations. Now, instead of demanding answers, you want to try invitation. So instead of saying you must, don't forget I said they are trying to gain independence. They need their own privacy too sometimes, right? So you could say, I'm going for a walk. You want to join me? Now you've invited them gently. Or I'm making a favorite meal. Want to help? Let's see a movie together. Which one would you want us to? Don't forget, in every way, try to connect. Again, this is about connection. A child that you do not connect to, it will be hard for them to allow you enter into their life. Yes, so you want to connect with your children and them, but you could do that gently. Don't forget they are teenagers, right? So don't choose most. Hey, gentle invitation. I'm going for a walk. Would you want to join us again? Let's go and stroll. Okay, that gives them a sense of belonging, right? They are happy that they are part of the decision. Like, I think she's asking me if I want to join. Okay, so things often would want to feel heard. So please, asking them, it's a way of saying, yes, my mommy knows, my daddy knows that my voice matters, and I have a decision to make here. Everybody's happy. It's a win-win, right? Number 5 will be that we respect their need for space. You know how some of us parents want to soak them. So let the things breathe. Okay, so you want to write it down for me. Let the things breathe. So at times they need space, right? They just withdraw to process all that is in their head. Like I said, silence does not mean rejection. So at times I just want to pattern out what is wrong with them or has happened with them. But in that space that you're giving them, you want to tell them, I'm in the living room if you want to hang out. I'm in my room if you want to talk. I understand you might need some space, but hey, I'm here for you. I'm always here for you, right? So you may need to give them space to grow. Yeah, they need to build resilience. They need to build their muscles. So don't always be in their face. So that a teen is not saying something now doesn't mean they will not talk about it. But you know how we want it now. You see your son is angry, and then you're saying, why are you angry? I remember when I was small, you know how you fight or quarrel, and then they'll not ask you what happened. You not start crying. Cry that you did not cry when you were fighting with the person. Right? Yeah. So if that happened to you as a child, then why do you think your teenager is already foaming, want to tell you what has happened at that time, right? Because it will lead to cry. It will lead to, so at times they just need that space to cool off, to understand what's happening with them, and then they can talk. But when they are in that give me space thing, be close enough to let them know that, see, I'm just after that door. Once you open that door, you can see me. I'm in the parlor, I'm in the living room. If you want to talk, mommy is here. Again, we go back to that creating safe space, right? Amazing. And then finally, which is number 7, we want to model vulnerability. So many of us parents, we tighten up. We wear that face of I'm perfect. I understand all that is happening with me. And then the child feels, okay, so if I failed and mommy has never failed before, then I need to keep it. If I'm sad, I've never seen mommy sad before. I'm just giving an example, and I need to keep it. But hey, don't forget that if you share your own struggles with your teens, then they know that struggle is part of life. If you share your own emotions with them, they understand their own emotions better. So you might want to say, for instance, after coming back from work, that you had a tough day at work, and I felt really frustrated. But talking about it helped me feel better. How do you think that teenager will react tomorrow? Now they will know that, okay, so if daddy had a tough day at work and he felt frustrated, so it means frustration is okay. It's emotions. It's normal. But she asked for help and then she felt better. She talked about it and she felt better. So tomorrow, if they are feeling frustrated, they know that, okay, that I'm frustrated does not mean I should scatter things. I'm frustrated does not mean I should bottle up. Mommy asked for help the other day. Daddy spoke about it the other day when they were frustrated and they got help. They felt better. Now, when we do not portray that we are perfect human beings, then of course we can help our teenagers deal with their own emotions better. Okay, right? So thank you everyone for joining. I see us. So to recap this, even as we draw this to a close, teenagers may stop talking, but it does not mean they stop needing you. You may want to write that down. Teenagers may stop talking, but it doesn't mean that they have stopped needing you. Your calm presence, your conditional love, and willingness to listen, can gently lead them back to you. So this will be another question or for reflection, dear parents. Do you listen? Are you a listening parent? Are you a listening parent? You know, at times we listen to react, we listen to respond. Like a child is telling you something, and in your head you're already cooking a reply. Do we listen? At times they don't need advice from us. They just want to pour out their emotions. They just want to pour out the burden in their heart. And you know, Professor, Mommy and Daddy, they've not finished talking. You have concluded. You know, a child is telling you, Mommy, this is what my best friend did to me today. You have not finished explaining what has happened. You've already said saying that you're wrong, go, please go and apologize. And the child would like really on top of this matter. So please let's listen. Let's listen, right? Now, so even if your teen stays quiet, your consistent effort matters. Every kind word, every moment of patience, every part at the back, every mommy is here to listen. Daddy is right here if you want to talk. It all adds up, right? So don't think for a moment that your children or your teenagers do not need you. They need you. See that strong face? Behind it is a soft heart. What you just saying, if mommy can try one more time, if daddy can ask me the question again one more time, right? So let's not give up. We are not giving up on them. We have to keep connecting with them every time. So for this week, I want us to try out something. Whether writing a note, listening more, giving them space, telling them you're there. You're just right there. Right? We really help build our children's emotions this time around. Thank you all for joining. It was so amazing to see us. Thank you for joining. We want to catch replay. You want to help us share, like, right, and then invite your friends. We'll be doing this every Sunday, 8 p.m. Okay, you want to follow us on social media and do Miss Benro here on Facebook and on Instagram, and then of course on YouTube, Counselor Ruth Benro. Please, if you have challenges with your teenagers and you want to reach out for help, your favorite counselor is here. Of course, Ruth Benro is a certified child and adolescent counselor. She's a teens coach and a family life coach. You want to reach out for counseling, you want to reach out for personalized guidance, and trust me, together we can raise awesome children, we can raise awesome teenagers. Thank you all for joining. I love you and I honor you. Until I come your way again next week Sunday, take care of you. And to the women, happy International Women's Day. You know, we cannot stop celebrating us. It happened yesterday, but hey, the month is for us, right? Yes, so thank you all for joining.